take care of my community and things like that, and into my entrepreneurship journey.
So tell me a little bit about your entrepreneurship journey and what you say give back to your community. How are you giving back to your community, and what makes you want to give back to your community?
Well, with the entrepreneurship, it, in 2021 started my LLC, Black Beauty Collection, and I focused on pretty much the Black community, women, beauty products. How Black women are about they upkeep and stuff like that. And so when I started my LLC, I really focused on beauty and hair and the overall just look and feel of being beautiful for a woman because it's very important to her, especially moms, we have just had babies and stuff like that, struggling to feel pretty and just like, struggling with weight loss and stuff like that. So I focused a lot of my hair lashes. I delved into getting like hairsprays and hair masks and lotions and stuff like that. So it was a big learning process. And it was a major way to connect with my community. And then when my baby girl got sick, into why I wanted to give back because when my baby girl got sick, it was like, like I had my kids like a lot of different things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I found so much like overflow that I had to other people, like, that didn't have it because I got help to get it for my kids. My kids had, you know, support coming from them and them supporting me and with my children, like mental support, physical support, and stuff like that. So when like I've thought that it was very important to help out where I can because I've had people help me when they really didn't have to. So it was like when I got even the slightest bit of I do because I got that help. Stick their neck out for they do. It's just a given to just pay it forward a bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that was really, really important back and starting up like to just like even when with my baby girl being in the hospital and stuff like that, I would like my baby has been in the hospital for nearly a year now. And so like when holidays rolls around like Valentine's Day, I made Valentine's bags to give out to the little ward that she's in for all the babies. Now I mean it's a few little bitty babies, like newborn babies in the ward, but I still gave that, let her pass all her bags to all of the rooms and stuff like that. And it was just something that was super important for me to do because, like it's just why not? You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
the little things that can brighten up somebody's day. You know what I
So,
mean?
if you would, because a lot of people are probably wondering,
Right.
where are you and why are you in the hospital? Why your baby's in the hospital? If you could, share a little bit of your backstory to why you are in the hospital and why you've had to have people to sew into you like that. If you would mind sharing that.
But in last year in August, we found out that my baby girl, my 3-year-old, her heart was failing, and like it all just started with her. Just she wouldn't eat, right? That's just what kind of kicked us into action. She just wouldn't eat, and my baby loves to eat, so that that was kind of jarring to me and her dad. Like, she won't eat. Like, he was kind of pressuring me, and I was kind of, paying attention to it, pressuring him. Like, yeah, it's getting kind of serious. So one day at home, I just made the decision to take her to the ER, just simply because she wouldn't eat. And when I took her to the ER, they ran a number of tests on her and stuff. Like, they asked questions and stuff like that, and they was running a number of tests on her. And the doctor just told me, after he had ran the number of tests that he ran, and they was all just coming back, like with no results. He said he had one more test to run, but he was like, I'm pretty sure I'll get the result I'm looking for after I run this test. And when he ran it, he actually did get the result. And he said, he didn't. First of all, he didn't come out and just blurt it out like that. He sat me down and he said her heart was failing. Well, even sitting me down in the chair, still felt like I hit the floor, because it was just something that I couldn't take. I started wailing, and he left out the hospital room or whatever, and I called her dad. I remember trying to get it out to him and kind of yelling at him, and because he wasn't with me, he was on the road, he works a lot or whatever. So I remember trying to get it out to him and tell him what was going on, and I called this doctor her guardian angel. She somehow, the doctors was connected out there, and they got her from the hospital that she was in to the very first hospital the emergency room that she was in, to the hospital that she went and spent about a week at in the city of Chicago, the Children's Hospital in Hyde Park. And like, her journey started in August, the 13th of August last year. So eventually, like, we got a diagnosis pretty quickly, but eventually we were told that she would need a transplant, and after we were told that she would need a transplant, a heart transplant, because her heart was enlarged. She had dealt with a number of different, like, bacteria and pneumonia, sepsis. Like, she dealt with quite a bit. Being in the hospital, she was intubated for months. She couldn't eat for a really long time. So she went through a lot. And, her dad being on the road a lot. And at one point in time,
Lachey, I don't know what happened. I can't hear you.
Yeah, line is still open. Yeah, line is still open right now, so we're trying to figure that out at this time.
Wow.
And struggling with bills at first. They came and helped us out with resources, and, like, even a foundation called the Richie Pervin Foundation. They helped us with, like, Christmas gifts for my kids and stuff like that. So it was like, when I say they poured into us, they really did.
Wow.
They really did.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. I can only imagine what you're going through. I remember us having that conversation. Lachey, she has been a part of the things that I do for quite some time. So she's like family to me. So when she told me this, we've yet been praying for her and her whole family. So now we are in the process of trying to help her raise funds so that her baby can get a heart transplant. There is a link. We've been sharing it across social media. We are also hosting an event on 14th in Chicago. We're going to share the information. We'll be sharing the location and things of that nature. But it's going to be an opportunity for you guys to come out, support. It's an author event, so there's going to be some authors there. Of course, Lachey is an poet, amazing poet. She has some literary work out. Have an opportunity to display that work, but you will have an opportunity to donate. you cannot be in and you're listening, you're tuned in, and you will donate. She actually has a link up that website about that organization. They actually have a link up so you guys can donate. Think what may be small to you, every little bit helps. And I honestly don't know what this young lady has gone through and what she's yet dealing with because she has four other babies that she has to also take care of. So, as a community, I just hope that we can rally around her and show her some support. If nobody but her, you guys can come together and at least show her some support and show her some love. I truly would appreciate that. Lachey, if you would please share with them that website that they can go to. I actually have the website. It is the coat .org, and the coat is spelled COTA, and it stands for Children Organ Transplant Association, and it's at .org, and it's backslash cult for cash heart, and that is KASHS heart, and that is cash. If you are on social media and you're come across my page, I have shared that link. Hopefully, I'll be able to share that link so that you guys can get it. Again, it is the cult. It's C.org, and it stands for Children's Organ Transplant Association. If you Google, just put in Cash Heart, and that's KASHS Heart. You'll see a beautiful little picture of a little girl with some glasses, and there's a pretty little picture of her right there, and it says "Mama's pretty little girl," and it says hashtag heart awareness. That is on the very front page, so you guys can go over and support Lachey. Lachey, how can I want you to stick around though, but how can people follow you and support the things that you are doing? Um, if you would, please share that. But I want you to stick around because later on, after I bring up the other two ladies, we're going to open up the lines and individuals are going to be able to call in. So people may want to talk to you. So I want you to stick around if you can. I understand if you can't. I understand because I know that you are at the hospital. So if you would, please tell individuals how they can follow you, how they can reach out to you, how they can get in touch with you.
I'm on Facebook, Denise, DENISEBAE, Denise. On Instagram, I gotta make sure. Instagram is a underscore the author underscore writer on Instagram. My yeah, Facebook, Instagram.
You cannot get in contact with her, y'all know that all of my guests, if you can't get in contact with them at any time, you always can reach out to me and I will be able to directly connect you guys because that's what I do. I like to make sure that I'm able to stay connected with those that are part of what I do. So I will stay connected. So if you guys cannot get in contact with her, just reach out to me, and I will directly connect you guys. Because guess what? I got the digits, so I can call her up and let her know you need to get in contact with her. So, Lachey, hang around, and we may have some questions for you later on. Hang around if you can. And bring up Sunshine, and keep it moving so we can open up the line and get some questions going. Sunshine, are you there, sweetheart?
Uh, I am here. Yes, Queen Angela, and to my fellow guests. Lachey, I'm so inspired by your story. Keep on keeping on, sister. And you have my support and my love and my blessings. And I know that God, by Jesus' stripes, we're healed. And so I am doing an extra prayer for your daughter.
Amen. Amen. I tell you, I thank you for that. We call her name out every single day. I tell you, prayer powerful, and I tell
Yes,
you,
indeed.
when you understand and know the, it can move mountains, and you are definitely a living testimony. You have a testimony that I tell you, just make you want to just run around the building and just shout. And I just want you to just let people know who you are. Sunshine, like that's a name that, how did you get that name?
Okay, I'll tell you how I got this name. I've been carrying this name to an age of my family located in Florida, which is the Sunshine State. Opportunity to do a lot of volunteering at my daughter's high school. And I walked in there one day, and the principal said, "Look at you coming in here like a big old ball of sunshine. Can I call you Sunshine?" And ever since that day in 2008, I have been sunshine. I have always have let my light shine, but for somebody to recognize it, I wear that title proudly. Yes, that's how I became the Sunshine in 2008.
Wow. So, a little more about you, because you are a woman of many hats, many gifts, many talents. So, if you would, outside being an author, who is Sunshine?
Who am I? First and foremost, I am a child of God. To God be all the glory for the things that He has done for me. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a proud G mama. I got my first biological grandson. And so my days and free time is spent just loving on him. I'm also a labor union leader. That's my day job. I've been doing that for 24 years now. And I'm also a licensed professional real estate agent, a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur. I help my husband with his t-shirt business. And I just love people, and I love God.
Wow, that's truly amazing. Your testimony, um, is definitely one that, I tell you, is one that just, it's amazing. It just shows the power of God, and I'm just grateful to be
Absolutely.
connected to some amazing women. We have, I've been sharing a lot across social media, so I've been telling people that there's two things that brought us together, and that was, the first thing was that we all have a story, and the second thing
Yes.
was, we all decided to share that story, whether it was through poetry or it was through a book. We all decided to become authors, to be able to share our story, to be able to be the authors of our story, to be able to leave that legacy, to be able to leave that blueprint, so that we can tell our own stories, and nobody have to tell it for us. So that alone, a lot of they want to become authors, but they never take that step. But you guys took that step. What has that?
Okay, I can tell you that I birthed from pain, and that didn't save me from all to keep it to myself. Like, we are all evangelists. We are all called to share the good news about Jesus Christ. And so after have just overcame so many obstacles, so many challenges, I said, like, I'm not the only one that's out there that has experience, and other people, other women need to know that if God did it for me, that same God, that same Jesus can do it also for them. Like, I survived sexual abuse, I survived domestic violence, I survived, um, I had surgery last year and I ended up with clots in my lungs, so I survived that. I remember being in a really bad ATV accident, and I was just so grateful for God that I lost consciousness, and when I was able to wake up, I had broken ribs, but I can still stand up on my own 2 feet and walk away from that. When I had my twins 26 years ago, I almost died from that. My organs was shutting down. I had complications from PIH and preeclampsia. And just through all the valleys that I have been through, Jesus has never left my side. He said he'd never leave me nor forsake me. And I am a recipient of God's goodness, mercy, grace, and love. And I just think it's my job to walk in my purpose and walk in my victory and share that with others that may be having a similar journey. And if it's just to let them know that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above anything that we can ask. And as long as you have breath in your body, there is hope. And so that's what I think I carry, the sunshine, but it's about like hope, and also like what you said in the beginning, is that I needed to figure out what leaving for my children and my children's children, because we're supposed to do that as well. And I say, well, what more better to do it than to share my story, empower people, and I love talking, I love meeting people, and why not do something with that and create a legacy?
That's it. And that's what we do. There's four things that call it four C's. He dropped it in my spirit. Going into 2025 on the three E's, which was educate, empower, and encouragement. That's what I've been on since I think 2000. The four C's going into 2025 with the 100 author movement, and it was connect, collaborate, create, and community. We have to get back to being creative and back to that community mentality, thinking about our brothers and our sisters. I'm grateful for Lachey being able to share her testimony and how her community helped rally around her in her time of need. And we need to know that that's still out there, because of a lot of stuff that we see going on. A lot of people think that there's still not that community mentality out there, but there are still a lot of people that still have a heart. They still have morals, they still have values, and they believe in family. And we're not just talking about blood family, but we're talking about family, our brothers and sisters, because the word says that we're supposed to love our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, as our brothers and sisters, and we're supposed to love them. So I'm grateful for the testimonies that we're able to share his goodness, and people are able to see him at work, and they can draw wherever they are. And I want people to know that no matter where you are, know that you are where you're supposed to be. Even if you're going through something, understand there's a lesson in that. There's something that you're supposed to be getting. Get it and keep going. But know that there's always an opportunity, because he said we can do it for a night, but joy coming in the morning. Your morning may not be today. Your morning may be 5 days from now. It may be a week from now. It may be 5 months from now. But know that it's coming, because his word is not going to return to him void. And we got to learn how to speak that in our lives. Definitely got to learn how to speak that in our lives. Um,
Yes, indeed.
you mentioned that you were ill and you had to have surgery. So what was that journey back to healing?
Oh, a lot of knowing. It was rough. I was down for about 6 months, but prior to my surgery was the test that came when I really had to believe on God that this was the right decision for my life. You know, just like the woman in the Bible in Luke chapter 13, we actually spoke about that a couple Sundays ago, and I was like, that is me. That is my story. I wasn't bent over as long as she was for 18 years, but I was bent over. Sometimes I had to crawl to the bathroom. It was just really a bad situation. And there was no other option for me to have surgery. And so I just thank God for being there with the surgeons. I had a spinal fusion, my L3 all the way to my F1. It was not a small surgery at all. I think it was like 5 hours they told me it was. And
Wow.
then I was recovering. I thought I was, recovering well. And I discharged home, and after being discharged, I fainted.
Wow.
I ended up going back to the emergency room, and when they did the CT, is when they discovered the clots in the lungs. And so I just thank God for the saint. I wrote a whole thing about it, like the power of the saint, because had I not fainted, I could have just laid in that bed and just went on to glory at that moment. And so through that process, I found newfound purpose in my life. I was like, God is continually to keep me on this earth for a reason. Let me walk in that reason. Let me help other people and spread the good news more, and through these platforms like your podcast and the community that you talked about, I have that opportunity to do just that, because there's somebody out there that needs to hear. We believe in Jesus. We know we believe in divine healing, but we also believe that God put doctors. Jesus is not threatened by nobody with no doctor's degree. And if you're out there and you are bent over, please seek medical attention so you can straighten up. And once you straighten up, jump up and down and give God all the praise, because that's what I do. I was like, I couldn't do this last year, but right now I can run all over this church, because all glory really goes to God. And even Luke, who wrote that scripture about the bent over woman, was a physician. So uh, somebody needs to hear that. That's okay to listen to your doctor, and through your doctor, Jesus can deliver healing to you. Um, and so, yeah, I'm just excited to be able to just share my testimony, share my story, and let people know that God can do all things but
Yes.
fail.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because a lot of a lot of people, they'll tell you to go pray, and they'll tell you to just do this and do that. But God made all of these different positions. He made all of these different people. He knew what we was gonna need, so He made them available. And we have to use wisdom too. He give us wisdom in all things, so we have to identify what it is that we're praying for. So if we don't go to somebody that can identify the things that is going on with our body and telling us what's going on, that we can, you know, uh, uh, call it out and then we can call it by name and we can give it a name because God has given it a name. But we all know that the name of Jesus is so much powerful. So if we know what we're putting to the name, that's what we got to know. We can know what we put into the name. So I thank you for sharing that. Yes,
And,
thank you.
and I always say that, faith and work is the dynamic duo because we already know that for with faith, you have to have faith, but you got to put in the work for it too. Because without work, it doesn't work. Faith doesn't work. They go hand in hand, faith and work. And so I always
Exactly.
say that faith believes and work achieves. Because you got to have faith and you got to have work.
Yeah.
And that's the dynamic duo.
And the good thing about it is he tells us that we all we need is the faith the size of a mustard seed. And for everybody that knows the size of a mustard seed, know that it is very small. It's something that you can only see under a microscope. So that's just telling you, if you just have that much faith, and that's just a little faith, if you just believe just a little, what he can do. But then you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
But see, a lot of us don't want to put in the work.
Right.
That's where the issue come in, the problem come in. We got all kind of faith. We got more faith than we really need, but we're not doing the work. And that's where we are hindered because we are waiting for something to drop out the sky. We waiting for something to happen. It's like insanity. We doing the same thing, and nothing is happening, and we won't change up. But that's a whole nother story. I want you to stick around because there's going to be a session where we're going to open up the lines and we're going to have some callers to call in, hopefully, and we'll be able to continue this conversation. We do have another guest on with us. She is one of the authors, a part of the 100 Author Movement, along with us. And for those that do not know what the 100 Author Movement is, it is a movement under Aspiring Authors Magazine where we focus on the 4 C's, and that is connect, collaborate, create, and community building. We believe in connecting, we believe in working together and being supportive, and we don't believe in competition. So we have a chat, we have a group, we have a couple of people where we really share resources. We share through challenges, we share through doing shout outs. We do different things to promote each other and uplift each other. We even pray for each other when individuals are going through. We have a sister that's tuned in right now. She's in the hospital and she's been sharing, and we've been praying for her, and just different things that go and take place inside of the 100 Author Movement. Sunshine, before we go to Gwen, if you would please tell people how they can support you, how they can follow you, and make sure you tell them about that book that's dropping on Sunday, June 1st.
Yes, yes. So you can find everything on my link tree. That is linktree linktr.ee/sunshine pace sunshine pace. I'm on Facebook. The name Sunshine Pace. I'm on Instagram, and you can find all of the social media handles, my email, my phone number, everything with that link tree. The link tree is how you get in contact with me, and everything that I have to offer, you'll be able to find all the links on the link tree. I do have, because I tapped into another market, and it's so funny because I got so much creativity juices actually flowing after the first podcast I did with Queen Angela. And so now I'm started doing digital guides, downloads for $1.99. I have books on my link tree. midnight, Sunday morning at midnight, and it's a weight loss, but it's my journey, it's my truth, and I think people will find it really freeing because it's not your typical weight loss book, and it's gonna be, I believe, because I prayed about it, something that's going to be powerful. And the title of it is called More Than a Number. More Than a Number, real weight loss, real healing, and real results. And so it is going to tell you what really worked for me, what really helped me heal, drop pounds, and keep it off. And that is going to, the link is going to be oh, midnight Pacific Standard Time on June 1st. Thank you for letting me do that.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, that's what we do. You know, that's what we do. Again, she is a part of the movement. You can go over and check her out on social media. All you got to do, and you can see all of as a part of this movement. I think currently we have 4 authors that's sharing their brand. They're sharing, amplifying their voice. So check them out. I'm gonna go.
Hi, Angela.
Hey, sweetie, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I am great. I can't complain.
Uh,
Um, so having you guys here on the platform tonight to share your brand, bit about you guys, is right up my alley. Share with those that are tuned in about yourself.
yes, hi. My name is and author of 2 books. One, the name of my first book is Going to About, and that's about my brother who died in police custody in 2000, being handcuffed and shackled. And the second book is about the infrasound magnetic microwave frequency called Havana syndrome that Obama called Havana syndrome when he went to Cuba in 2016, and Biden signed it into law called the Havana Act in 2021, but only for military people. So to tell you a little bit about myself, well, what things that I love to do that I enjoy the most is writing books, and I love doing my podcast called Winter the Bow Break, which is also after my book Winter the Bow Break. And I also like reading, writing, coloring, exercising, biking, traveling, which I'm doing right now. I'm out of town. I'm actually picking up trash from my brother Ray, who's out of police custody because we adopted a highway sign for him. And in order to keep it up every year, we have to pick up trash at least twice a year so it can be kept up for free. So today I had to do my civic duty of picking up trash for him in his honor. So I'm out of town. Um, Something else about me, I'm 5'3". I'm about 150 pounds, and my favorite foods are steak and eggs. I love eggs. Even though eggs are more expensive now in the supermarket, I still love eggs. Okay, so with that being said, I want to get back to the story of my book, which is about break, and then I'm gonna talk about a little bit about me and Hidden in Plain Sight, which is my second book. And with my brother Ray, he calls me Ray, it was never Junior. He was out of town where I'm at right now, which is the South Boston, Virginia, which is southwest western part of Virginia. And he was in a hotel and he was needed some help. He hung out for the night. He did a little drinking and he did a little cocaine, which is 0.1 ounce, which is like 4 ounces of wine that was in the system during his autopsy. So he called 911 3 times for help, and they finally located his room. And when they located his room, the officers, 3 officers, a female officer, who was black at the time, but you couldn't tell by the video unless you're black and you know what black hair looks like. Once, no matter how light your skin is, when you got a certain type of coil of hair, you know that it's black. That's the only way you could tell that she was black from the video. With 2 other white male officers, and they asked him if they could handcuff him because he called 911 3 times. And when they finally looked at his room, because he needed help, he wanted them to take him to the hospital. So when they finally reached his room, they handcuffed him with his hands behind his back, and they asked him if they could if they could take him to the hospital to get his medical evaluation. And he said, yeah, sure. So when they took him to the hospital to get his medical evaluation, he was feeling a little paranoia, which is out of the Havana surgery frequency, which is my second book here in plain sight. Was totally ramping up inside of him and making him feel all these crazy weird thoughts. The people after him, because like when he was in the hotel, he said he killed people and put them inside of the roof. And the Super 8, the Super 8 motel, if you're on the first floor, there's no roof. You got 4 other floors or 5 other floors above you. So there's no people he could have killed. But those are the thoughts that he was going through when he was on his way to the hospital. So he took out the window of the squad car, ran open to one of the police officers, opened the door for him. He ran to the sliding glass doors. They didn't open because only personnel, nursing and hospital personnel could go through those glass doors with an ID badge that you have to put over top of the marquee or the key pad that will open up the glass doors for you. So they wouldn't open it for him with his hands cupped behind his back, and he hit the glass doors and fell backwards. When he fell backwards, he hit his head on the side of the hospital door, which caused him to bleed. So with that causing him to bleed, they started tasing him 20 times in front of the hospital. Remember what I said earlier in my story. He called 911 times. This is America that we're talking about. This is not a foreign country. This is not a foreign land. This is not on some island. This is the United States of America that we're talking about. We're talking about healthcare, where they have free healthcare in certain countries. And not only free healthcare, the emergency room was next door. All we had to do was take him to the emergency room. There were 3 squad cars, 3 police officers, 3 squad cars. And the one with the tased him the most, 17 times according to the FBI report, was the woman who looked like she's white, but she's black. And the crazy thing about her story is that my cousin is married to her cousin. So in a way, she's married into the family. So we live in a small town where slavery came from, where people marry into marriage, family first cousin, married first cousin, and then we're married to people who kill your own cousins in police custody. So when my brother was ramping up with his anxiety, that what made me start connecting the dots. And I wrote my second book called Hidden in Plain Sight. And he died at the hospital. When they tased him 20 times, they also put him back into the squad car with the prongs in his chest. He was laying on the ground. They tried to pull him out of his chest without a nurse or a doctor there. And you're supposed to have a physician on site when you're going to take those prongs out of somebody's chest. You just don't jerk them out of his chest. And so one of the white officers just jerked it out of his chest and left him there bleeding. And when they did the autopsy report, he had those 3 black burn marks in his chest when they opened his chest up to do the autopsy. How sad and how sick that is. And so with that, and I had to read all of this, and I had to look at the video. If you go on YouTube and you look up Linwood Lambert, which is spelled Linwood, Lambert, you'll see the full video with CNN with RF. RF has a good video, and that's a police show. That's a police show is showing you that there are some good cops out here and there's some bad cops out here. And we all know that with the frequency, it's hard to distinguish between the two, which is being bad, which is being good. So when I realized that what was happening to me, happened to my brother, because the frequency burnt my hair out with a Velma called the Rana syndrome, and fire signs the law for those who are in military embassies. To give you a backdrop of that, when Obama went to Cuba in 2016, my brother died in 2013. His best friend got us our attorneys for my brother's case. That's how we ended up on CNN. That's how we ended up on MSNBC. That's how we ended up on Associated Press and all the local news 12, 4, 6, 9. That's how we ended up on people's local channels. That's how we ended up in the newspaper. That's how we ended up in the newspaper. In my hometown, almost every week they had a story about us. Almost every week on the news they had a story about us. We was on CNN for 3 days, 24/7. That's how people knew about me. I got over 100 cops on my page because I used to work for the police department for 10 years. And they were like, how did you end up on TV when you were working for the police department and now your brother died in police custody and your boyfriend just died just recently? And I used to date an NBA basketball player who just died of a heart attack. And he was just in the news. So they were just inquisitive about all this frequency that they were using on our community. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, anything that has a name on it. If you look at the community, it is a disarray. It is totally dismantled. It's totally disrespectful to the people that we're supposed to be honoring as our heroes and the people that we look up to. But yet every year, white people and black people got something to say about what Martin Luther King has said and quoted. But yet, when you go on Martin Luther King Boulevard, Martin Luther King Street, Avenue, or centers, they look like shit. I'm sorry, they look like trash. That is the way it is. So when I wrote about Havana Syndrome, I wrote about all those things that connected me to the black community because I'm born on the same day as Martin Luther King. So in a way, America got me in a matrix,
Hmm.
the code around the black community. Yeah, so that's how it is.
Wow, you dropping a lot of nuggets, and you're going deep. So if you would, I want you. We have a caller. We have a caller in queue. But before we, I want you to is one of the newest hosts that's coming to our network. You're gonna get an opportunity to tune in to hear her podcast. When the bow breaks is coming in July. We have a couple new hosts that are coming over to the crew podcast. Her journey, everything tonight. She's going to be going deeper into those conversations. We're going to take this caller, but if you would please tell them how they can connect with you, stay connected with you. We don't have a chance later on. I want them to know already. Go ahead. How can they
I
reach
tell
you?
people, yeah, I tell people all the time, Bill. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the show, people, and you all bless authors while these men too. I want to tell so I give up because my cell phone number is also caught in the matrix. It's 804-687-0451. I do speeches, I do book readings, I do book signings, I also do lectures. So I do so many things. I can also come out and just give away free books. Number one. Number two is you can reach me on my Facebook page, which is Gwen Smalls. It's spelled GWEN Smalls, like Biggie, Biggie Smalls, SMALLS. You can reach me there, or you can reach me on my email, which is also Gwendolyn Small, GWENDOLYN Small, 035 at gmail.com, or windshield of the windshield, I'm sorry, this is the frequency acting, the windshield of bow break at gmail.com. So there's four ways you can reach me.
All right, all right. Well, make sure you stick around. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere because we have some callers that's going to be coming. We actually have caller number one in queue. Caller number one, if you could please tell us where you're calling from and who you are.
Hi, peace and blessings.
Hi, Sister
This is
Bessie.
Angela. Hi, yes, I'm the commissioner, also the Lifetime Achiever Hall of Famer for March 26th. My segment is the front porch, and my show will be on June 17th. I just wanted to make a statement to you. Peace and blessings to you and your guests. May the Almighty grant your first guest the desires of her heart concerning her daughter. And thank you for your gifts, testimonies. For without the Almighty, we are nothing. The Almighty is the ultimate healer and problem solver. And we must have faith in his wonders for us. And the Almighty is the prayer answerer. So I thank you for bringing these stories to strengthen our souls. Thank you, Angela, and thank you so much for your guest.
Thank you, Sister Bessie. Thank you. And if you would please tell everybody again when they can tune in. Again, this amazing queen is a part of this amazing network. She has just been into the Hall of Fame, and she is definitely doing amazing things on this network. Her journey has not been one of resilience, and her testimony is one that is definitely needed to be shared. job is sharing it, as well as keeping us aware of things that we as Black and brown people need to stay abreast of. And she has no shame in doing it and is not afraid of doing it. When I tell you she's bold with it. When they say come to the front porch, Sister Bessie's on the front porch. You got to come sit on the front porch and bring you a cup of tea because you in for a treat when you join her. So, Sister Bessie, again, if you would please tell them when they can tune in to your next show.
Yes, the front porch will be on June the 17th. And
Uh,
thank you so much for all that you do for us.
of course, of course. I thank Brother O for the opportunity to be able to do this because who would have thought I would be doing any of the stuff that I'm doing because I tell you I was not someone that would even thought I was worthy enough to even talk about the word of God, yet alone to get on and want to share it with somebody or even do half of the stuff that I'm doing. Never thought that I would be an author yet. I have over 100 and I think it said 145 when I uploaded my last book on today. So who would have thought? This little country girl from Levelland, South Carolina, would have the opportunity to do half of the stuff that I'm doing. So I'm just grateful. And I'm grateful for the amazing people that allow me to be a part of their lives and allow me to share them with my platform. So thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and bring my guests back on that are here, and we're just going to chop it up because guess what? The title of this show is Set Apart. And each one of them have definitely been set apart for just this time, just this season. And I'm going to have each one of them touch on that set apart as we go into our final thoughts. What does being set apart means to you guys? And we're going to start with Gwen first, and then we're going to go backwards, ending with Lachey. So we're going to have Sister Gwen share what does it mean to be set apart, then Sister Sunshine, and then Lachey, and then I'm going to share, and then we're going to go into Ngozi time. So, Sister Gwen, what does that word set apart means to you?
The word set apart means I'm set apart from the rest. Excuse me. That means that the three of us, along with these other queens, have a story to tell. There's other queens out here also have a story to tell. That means we're set apart from all of the ones who have a story that might not seem as vital as our stories that need to be told so we can have other sisters out. So that's what the word set apart from me means. It's set apart from those stories that can connect directly with people who could make a change in their lives.
And your final thought for this show tonight?
Amazing. It's amazing. First, I want to say thank you, Angela, for all that you do. Because if it wasn't for you, people like me, Lachey, and Sunshine would be on telling our stories and the pains that we've gone through and still going through. I want to say, Lachey, my heart goes out to you. No pun intended, but my heart goes out to you. And I wish you the best. And I support you and I love you and I love your baby. And I wish you well. And Sunshine, I've been through what you've been through, from sex abuse to porn to masturbation. I've been through it all. And I wrote about it in my second book. And I wish you the best and I wish you healing in every way there is. And I want to say for my story, my brother Ray, I wish that my family could heal in regard to his death and so that we can move on.
Amen.
We can be apart from all of the sadness and we can be apart from all of this drama. We can be apart from all this destruction of our family. We can come together as a part of a family.
Wow. Amen. Powerful. Amen. And thank you. Sister Sunshine, set apart. What does that mean to you? And then your final thoughts.
Yes, ma'am. So set apart to me when you first said that the word chosen popped into my mind. You know, I remember saying that people used to say that the most talented people are actually in the graveyard, and the other part is walking in your purpose. It's like it's like walking in your calling and not being afraid. But even if you're afraid, you're doing it afraid. Um, the chosen. What's the saying about the chosen are few? Yeah. So I feel like I'm chosen. I feel like I'm there's purpose than just to exist. I feel that I am set apart for such as this to spread the good news about Jesus. And I appreciate you helping to make that possible. You know, when I saw the Lagos, Nigeria, I said, oh, I'm going global, I'm going worldwide. And, you know, that is, I believe, what it's all about, just spreading that good news worldwide. And I am glad that God chose me for this. I always say, as long as I have breath in my body, there's hope, there's possibility, and I'm glad I'm not afraid to just walk in my purpose. And so my final thoughts to everybody who's listening is to not be afraid to walk in your purpose, not be afraid to be different and to be set apart because you are chosen for such a time as this. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank my co-guests that are so powerful queens with powerful stories. I'm gonna and Google the name and look and found out how I can support you. And definitely, Sister are lifted up in my prayers, and will be supporting you as she needs and have a abundant life. And thank you again for this platform.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. As the words say, many are called, but only a few would answer. And I truly thank him for the answer the call on today that would come on and willing to be transparent. So Lachey, I asked that question to you. What does that word set apart means to you? And if you would share your final thoughts. Sister Lachey?
For me, being set apart means, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. For me, set apart, it means is being able to, despite how bad the situation is, how um, how dire the situation may get, to be able to see the light in it, to be able to come through it, to be able to walk through with your head held high, with my head held high, and to be able to set an example for not only my children but others around me that we can make it through what we're going through is not designed to kill us if we don't let it, because God is on our side to walk us through it. We gotta understand that He's here with us to assist us in what we need. You know what I mean? And for my final thought for this show is amazing. It's one of those great things to be heard worldwide. You know, is always a great thing to receive prayers and well wishes from my daughter and myself. My family is always a blessing, and I receive those, and I thank you all for those. I thank every one of you, and I pray for the situations you're going through health wise and with your health, sunshine, with your family, Gwendolyn, Angela, you know, me, you Queen, we've been rocking for a real long time. So, you know, you like family to me and my baby. And so to be able to just connect with you on the different levels that we have connected is always a blessing for me because you have given me so much knowledge and so much help and so many prayers, and I really truly thank you for all of those and ladies too, and I wish you all the blessings in the world, you guys. I really truly do. And I thank you for allowing me to share my story with you guys about my baby girl and myself, and just being able to have a voice that a ear that can understand the difficulties of having a 3-year-old with heart failure is difficult. But I thank you guys for being enough to listen and send well wishes and prayers for her. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And again, I want to thank all of you queens for stopping by and being a part of the show tonight, sharing and being transparent because I know it's not easy sharing and letting people into your space. So thank you for sharing tonight. I'm going to turn it over to Ngozi for Dr. Ngozi for Ngozi time. Brother O.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all those that came around to listen to these stories tonight. And definitely my heart goes out to the little child. God will perform, more than adequate healing, miracle. It's going to happen. So definitely support the young lady and her father and her endeavors. Talking about the mother and father of that beautiful child. Definitely, we're going to reach out and try to do something for her as well here at WBNN Communications. And of course, I love the young lady, the second young lady, with her exuberant spirit, and it's so needed, and her journey. And of course, the last young lady, the death of her brother, which, really was just egregious. And, I'm hoping definitely that justice will be served for those three demons, okay? I'm not even gonna talk about them. They don't deserve nothing. They deserve death and taxes. I said it. So what? To have a person that is calling under arrest and handcuff him. Why? Hey, I'm not feeling well. Can you get me EMT, or can you take me to the hospital? She already explained that. And I hope they get what they deserve under the full breadth of the law. Tomorrow night we come back on this outstanding network, with a legend. But before we come with that legend, we have a legend right now. And she's, been with us since 2020. Congratulations to Angela Thomas Smith with the WBNN all-time 69 and 6 consecutive with the Darlene Lawrence Championship, honoring. Congratulations to you, Angie, and what a great show tonight. What an outstanding broadcasting performance. So proud of the young lady from Anson, South Carolina. Now, of course, tomorrow night we're going to with, again, another legend. His name is Rabbi Dr. Huni Bakatoon. The name of the show is called We Will Aware You. It will be 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time on the one and only Family Nation, of course. WBNN Communications has advertised to Ngozi Time multimedia service, Instagram, and X. Only on Twitter, Olagale Malay, Ngozi, and Facebook. Any comments, suggestions on one for programming tonight? Lay.gmail.com. I am your mother's father's favorite producer, Dr. Olagale Malay, Ngozi, supported by the University of Michigan, and Lonnie and Debbie's baby boy saying tonight. Good luck to all the folks out there on radio. That's support on a constant basis tonight. And that's an exceptional accolade. 20 and was an award winner for excellence, the WBNN Communications Host of the Year. But it's Celtic, the 2000 International Internet Radio broadcasted enshrining again and again the young lady from the beautiful state of South Carolina, the outstanding Angela Thomas.
Unmuted.
Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I want to thank all of my special guests, Lachey, Sunshine, and Miss Gwen. Thank you for stopping by and gracing us on tonight. Like always, I thank all of those that tuned in from around the world that support us here on the WBNN. If it was not for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And of course, if it was not for Brother O, we would not have this space. So always, I give a shout out to him. Y'all, I'll be back in 4 weeks. Every 4 weeks on Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all can tune in right here and here. Walking in Purpose with Angela. I hope you will tune in. Y'all be blessed. I thank you for tuning in and know that you didn't get dropped out of the sky, that there's a reason why you're here. You have purpose. Now walk in it. I love y'all. See y'all next time.